Now, the Commission of Inquiry into the Public Investment Corporation resumes today after a 2-week break. Inquiry chairperson Judge Lex Mpati previously heard how processes were flouted when it came to investing millions into certain companies. The Commission's also heard how certain staff members were victimized, and ENTA's Heidi Jacques has been tracking the PIC inquiry for us over the past few weeks. She joins us now live for an update. So, Heidi, if we just think back to how the inquiry has been doing its work and what it's heard over the past few weeks, it seems to have focused on particular investments. I'm thinking of the likes of AO Technology Solutions, Steinhoff, VBS Mutual Bank, that's just to name a few. But were there any similarities in how these investments were made and perhaps why they raised eyebrows with the inquiry?
Well, definitely, Michelle. I mean, this Commission of Inquiry has been on a break for about 2 weeks now, and it's set to continue its work this week. But it's definitely looking into the various investments that the PIC has made, with government employees' pension funds being its biggest client, and of course putting it at risk when investments don't go well. But as you rightfully say, investments such as AO Technology, such as VBS, such as Steinhoff, all seem to have certain kind of similarities, such as certain processes were not followed, due diligence was not done, and it seems as though all these investments were pushed by then CEO Dan Machila. If we just look at AO Technology Solutions, that was an investment that the PIC made of 4.3 billion rand, which now is trying to get that money back because of everything that has been made to light here at this PIC Commission of Inquiry. But all the similarities are that then CEO Dan Machila seemed to have been pushing these investments because of his very close relationship with AO Technology. It's said that we've heard various allegations about how he has a very good relationship with the person that heads up AO Technology, or has a very close relationship with AO Technology, Iqbal Survey. But the very big one that stood out for me, covering this commission from day one, is that the proper processes were not followed from day one. Very key processes and steps were ignored just to make sure that those deals were struck and those investments were made. And we're talking about millions of rands.
Heidi, just in terms of the PIC itself, what's the inquiry saying about how the PIC is operating, and in particular, how the board is operating?
Well, you must remember, Michelle, that the board had resigned, I think it was at the end of January, if I'm not mistaken, and that obviously has put into question how the board was operating in the first place and why it decided to resign. You must remember that the board resigned because of various allegations that have been levelled against the whole board, including the chairperson of the board, which is also the Deputy Finance Minister, Mondliko Ngubele, and they then decided to throw in the towel, saying that because of all these allegations, they will decide to take a step back. But a number of witnesses that testified from the beginning of this inquiry basically saying that the board is, there's factions within the board. One part of the board is pro-Dan Machila and the other part of the board is not pro-Dan Machila. So the Commission definitely questioning how the board was actually operating before it decided to resign, and now basically operating without a quorum because they've decided to just stay in that position until the Finance Minister when he finds a new board to replace the current board. But a number of allegations levelled against them, a number of allegations levelled against the chairperson, Mondliko Ngubele, and how he favours certain people within the PIC and does not operate the way he should as a chairperson. So the PIC inquiry and the panel really questioning what is actually going on at the PIC, given the fact that there are issues as well as within the staff, but also at board level.
So, Heidi, resuming after 2 weeks is the inquiries. Do we know what we're expected to hear today? Who's expected to take the stand?
Unfortunately, we don't know because everybody has been placed under witness protection. But we did get word that it will be an ex-PIC staff member that's set to speak about the pension, not the pension funds, the the bonuses that were supposedly held back so that the PIC could save some kind of money. We do also know that another investment will be brought into light today, as you know, the Commission is trying to investigate all the investments that the PIC went into. So no word yet on who exactly is set to testify, but we know it's going to be an ex-PIC staff member as well as an investment being brought into light here.
Yeah, just a reminder to our viewers of just exactly how much is at stake here with all the witnesses at the PIC inquiry being placed under protection. Thanks very much for that update. Heidi Jacques will continue to track that story for us right here on ENCA Now.